The stars stretched infinitely across the vastness of space as Captain Elias Ford stood on the bridge of the USS Valor, contemplating the recent reports. Rumors had spread rapidly about a new, terrifying presence in the galaxy, the Vraxin Empire. Known for their ruthless conquest and advanced technology, they had already subjugated several star systems, leaving destruction and fear in their wake. Ford was a seasoned officer in the United Earth Space Command, respected for his strategic mind and steady leadership. He had faced numerous adversaries, but the Vraxin represented a threat unlike any other. The galaxy, once chaotic but manageable, was now overshadowed by the menace of this relentless empire. "Elias," came a voice from behind, breaking his thoughts. It was Lieutenant Marcus Graves, his longtime friend and tactical officer. "We've just received an urgent message from Command. The Vraxin have been spotted on the outskirts of the Omega Cluster. They're heading our way." "Looks like they're moving faster than we anticipated," Elias replied, turning to face Marcus. "We need to be ready. What's the status of the crew?" "Everyone's on high alert. Engineering is double-checking all systems. The pilots are in their fighters and weapons are ready," Marcus answered, his eyes reflecting the seriousness of the situation. "Good. Assemble the senior staff in the briefing room. We need to plan our response," Elias ordered, his mind already formulating strategies. Minutes later, the senior staff gathered in the briefing room, a holographic display of the galaxy rotating above the central table. The faces around him were tense, each officer acutely aware of the stakes. Lieutenant Graves began the briefing. "The Vraxin forces have been identified here," he said, highlighting several systems. "They're moving methodically, and we estimate they'll reach our sector within a week." Dr. Samuel Adler, the ship's science officer, leaned forward. "Their technology is highly advanced. From what we've gathered, their ships are equipped with energy shields and weapons far superior to ours. Standard tactics won't be enough." Captain Ford nodded, absorbing the information. "We need intelligence, and fast. Our best chance is to intercept one of their scout ships and gather data. It's risky, but it might give us the edge we need." "Agreed," Marcus replied, looking at the others. "We'll need to move quickly and quietly. An ambush could work, but we'll need to draw them into a trap." Elias turned to the chief engineer, Lieutenant Emma Carter. "Emma, can we modify our fighters for stealth? We need to be invisible until we're right on top of them." Emma thought for a moment, then nodded. "It'll take some work, but we can do it. I'll need all available hands on deck." "Do it," Elias said, then addressed the room. "We can't let fear control us. We have to face this threat head-on, for Earth and all the worlds under threat." The officers left the briefing room with renewed purpose, each understanding their role in the impending confrontation. As the crew of the USS Valor prepared for the battle ahead, tension ran high, but so did determination. 3 days later, the Valor lay in wait on the edge of a dense asteroid field, a perfect hiding spot for the ambush they planned. The stealth modifications had been completed, and the fighters were ready. "All systems green," Marcus reported from his station. "The fighters are standing by." "Good. Emma, how are the stealth systems holding up?" Elias asked over the comm. "We're stable. I'll monitor everything from engineering," Emma replied, her voice calm and focused. Elias nodded, then opened a channel to the entire ship. "This is it, everyone. Stay sharp and follow your training. We only get one shot at this." The minutes stretched into hours as they waited, the tension on the bridge palpable. Then the sensors pinged, a Vraxin scout ship entering the system. "There they are," Marcus said, pointing at the screen. "They haven't detected us yet." "Prepare to engage," Elias ordered, watching as the alien ship moved closer, unaware of the trap it was flying into. The Valor launched its fighters, the small ships maneuvering silently through the asteroid field. As they closed in on the scout ship, Elias gave the command. "Now!" The fighters burst from their hiding spots, weapons blazing. The Vraxin ship, caught off guard, scrambled to return fire, but the human pilots were relentless. They targeted the alien ship's engines, disabling it within moments. "We've got them!" Marcus exclaimed, monitoring the battle's progress. "Elias to boarding team, move in and secure the ship," Elias ordered. A team of Marines, led by Lieutenant Graves, moved quickly to board the disabled vessel. Inside the Vraxin ship, the Marines encountered heavy resistance. The corridors were narrow, filled with the acrid smell of burning circuits and the sounds of alien weapons fire. Graves led his team through, systematically clearing the way to the bridge. "Hold your positions," Graves ordered as they reached the bridge doors. "Set the charges." With a controlled detonation, the doors blew open, and the Marines surged into the room, subduing the remaining Vraxen crew. "Bridge secure," Graves reported back to Elias. "We're accessing their systems now." Elias watched the status reports on the bridge of the Valor, waiting as the team worked to extract the data they desperately needed. Finally, Graves's voice came over the comm. "We've got it. Download complete," Graves confirmed. "Excellent work," Elias replied, relief evident in his voice. "Bring everyone back. Let's get out of here before reinforcements arrive." As the Marines returned, the Valor prepared to leave the system. The mission had been a success, but Elias knew it was just the beginning of a much larger struggle. The information they had retrieved could provide the key to understanding and ultimately defeating the Vraxen threat. Back in the briefing room, the senior staff gathered again, reviewing the data extracted from the Vraxen ship. "This confirms our worst fears," Dr. Adler said, pointing to the schematics displayed. "Their fleet is massive, and they have a network of bases throughout this sector. But we also have their communications codes," Marcus noted. "This gives us a way to anticipate their movements and strike back." Elias looked around at his team, seeing the determination in their eyes. "We'll use this advantage to protect our worlds. The Vraxen may have terrorized the galaxy, but they haven't faced humans like us." The crew of the USS Valor had taken their first step in what would be a long and dangerous campaign against the Vraxen Empire. But they were ready, united in their resolve to defend their home and their future. After the successful ambush of the Vraxen scout ship, Captain Elias Ford and his crew on the USS Valor returned to base, eager to analyze the valuable data they had retrieved. The atmosphere aboard the ship was tense, yet hopeful, as they prepared to use this intelligence to mount a defense against the impending Vraxen invasion. In the briefing room, Elias and his senior staff pored over the information extracted from the Vraxen ship. Lieutenant Marcus Graves, tactical officer and Elias's trusted friend, highlighted key points on the holographic display. "The data confirms the Vraxen's next target, the Vega outpost," Marcus explained. "It's strategically important for them, but if we can get there first, we might be able to set a trap." Dr. Samuel Adler, the ship's science officer, nodded in agreement. "Their technology is impressive but not infallible. We can exploit their communication codes to intercept and disrupt their plans." Elias listened intently, formulating a plan. "We need to act quickly. If we can disable their supply lines, we can slow their advance and buy time for Earth to prepare its defenses." Lieutenant Emma Carter, chief engineer, joined the discussion. "We've improved our stealth capabilities since the last mission. We can infiltrate their networks again and cause some real damage." "We'll need more than stealth," Marcus cautioned. "The Vraxen won't fall for the same trick twice. We need a distraction, something to draw their attention while we hit their supply lines." Elias considered the options. "We can deploy a decoy fleet. It will look like a full-scale assault and draw their main forces away from Vega." The room fell silent as the team absorbed the audacity of the plan. It was risky, but the reward could turn the tide in their favor. Elias turned to the assembled officers. "We've been underestimated, and that's our advantage. Let's move out." The USS Valor set course for Vega, leading a small fleet of stealth ships. As they approached the system, Elias addressed his crew, the weight of leadership evident in his voice. "We're fighting for our future. Every move we make here affects the fate of humanity. Stay focused and trust in your training." The fleet deployed their decoy ships, which lit up the scanners with false signals, simulating a massive human presence. Meanwhile, Elias and his team maneuvered through the shadows, heading straight for the Vraxen supply convoy. As the decoy fleet engaged the Vraxen forces, drawing them into a pitched battle, the Valor and its strike team slipped past the chaos, targeting the Vraxen cargo ships laden with precious resources. "Engage the disruptors," Elias ordered. "Let's make sure those supplies never reach their destination." The human ships fired, disabling the Vraxen transports and sending shockwaves through the enemy ranks. The tactic worked perfectly, leaving the Vraxen fleet vulnerable and off balance. "Target the lead ship," Marcus called out, coordinating the attack from his station. "We need to take out their command and control." With precision strikes, the humans dismantled the Vraxen supply line, delivering a devastating blow to their logistics. The success of the mission was a testament to their ingenuity and boldness. As the battle wound down, Elias surveyed the scene, feeling a surge of pride in his crew. "We've dealt them a blow, but this is just the beginning. We must prepare for their retaliation." the USS Valor and its fleet returned to base, bringing with them not just victory but a renewed sense of purpose. Elias knew that the fight against the Vraxen was far from over, but with each successful mission, humanity grew stronger and more determined to protect its place in the galaxy. Following their successful raid on the Vraxen supply lines, the crew of the USS Valor gained a brief respite to regroup and analyze their next steps. The disruption in the enemy's logistics had given humanity a much-needed advantage, but Captain Elias Ford knew that the Vraxen would retaliate swiftly and fiercely. In the strategy room, Elias and his senior officers gathered to discuss their next move. Lieutenant Marcus Graves highlighted new intelligence on the holographic display. "Our success at Vega has forced the Vraxen to concentrate their forces in nearby systems," Marcus explained. "They're trying to secure their remaining resources, but it leaves their base on Xylos vulnerable." Elias leaned in, considering their options. "Xylos is their main processing facility for that rare mineral. If we take it out, we cripple their war machine." Lieutenant Emma Carter nodded, her eyes scanning the data. "We've improved the disruptor's power. With precise hits, we can neutralize their defenses and cause significant damage." Dr. Samuel Adler chimed in. "We need to act quickly. The longer we wait, the more time they have to reinforce." Elias turned to his team, determination in his gaze. "Then we strike Xylos with everything we've got. We'll hit them hard and fast while they're still reeling from our last attack." The plan was audacious but necessary. The USS Valor assembled a strike force composed of Earth's best pilots and newest stealth fighters. As they prepared to embark on the mission, the atmosphere was tense, yet charged with anticipation. As they approached Xylos, the Vraxen defenses appeared formidable, but Elias and his crew were undeterred. They had faced overwhelming odds before and emerged victorious. "Activate the stealth systems," Elias commanded as the fleet drew closer. "We go in silent and strike without warning." The ships slipped through the void, undetected until they were upon the Vraxen facilities. Elias's strategy was simple but effective, a two-pronged attack that would keep the enemy off balance. "Marcus, lead the fighter squadron and take out their orbital defenses," Elias ordered. "Emma, you and I will handle the ground assault." The fleet split as planned, with Marcus leading a dazzling assault on the Vraxen ships guarding Xylos. Explosions lit up the sky as the human fighters danced through enemy fire, their superior piloting skills proving decisive. On the surface, Elias and Emma directed a team of Marines in a ground assault. The Vraxen had fortified their positions, but the humans were relentless, employing tactics and technology they had adapted from previous engagements. Emma worked quickly, setting charges to demolish the processing facility while Elias coordinated the ground offensive, pushing the Vraxen back step by step. "Charges are set, Elias," Emma called over the comm, her voice filled with urgency. "We need to pull back now." "All units, fall back to extraction points," Elias ordered. "We've done what we came here to do." As they retreated, the explosives detonated, sending shock waves through the facility. The destruction was total, and the Vraxen's ability to process the rare mineral was crippled. With the mission a success, the human forces regrouped and prepared to leave Xylos. But as they retreated, Elias knew they had only bought Earth some time. The Vraxen would regroup and seek vengeance, but the victory on Xylos had shown that humanity could challenge even the most fearsome foes. Back aboard the Valor, Elias addressed his crew, the pride evident in his voice. "Today, we showed them our strength. But we must remain vigilant. The war isn't over, but this is a turning point." His words resonated throughout the ship, fueling the determination of the crew. They had struck a significant blow against the Vraxen, but they knew the hardest battles were yet to come. Each victory strengthened their resolve, and as they plotted their next move, the galaxy watched, inspired by humanity's courage and resilience. With the destruction of the Vraxen processing facility on Xylos, the United Earth Space Command had gained valuable breathing room. The enemy's logistics were in disarray, and Captain Elias Ford knew this was their chance to press the advantage. As the crew of the USS Valor returned to base for repairs and resupply, the plan for the next offensive took shape. In the strategy room, Elias gathered with his key officers, including Lieutenant Marcus Graves and Dr. Samuel Adler. A holographic map displayed the Vraxen territories and highlighted potential targets. "We've disrupted their supply lines, but now we need to strike at the heart of their operations," Elias said, pointing to a critical note on the map. "Their main command center is on the planet Draconus. If we take it out, we can cripple their ability to coordinate." Dr. Adler nodded, reviewing the intelligence reports. "Draconus is heavily fortified, but our recent actions have stretched their defenses thin. A direct assault could succeed if we act quickly. Emma Carter, the ship's chief engineer, spoke up. Our disruptors are more powerful than ever. We can penetrate their shields and create an opening for our forces. Elias turned to Marcus. We'll need your best pilots to lead the charge. We need to be swift and precise. Marcus grinned, confident in their abilities. Consider it done, Captain. We'll give them no time to react. With the plan set, the USS Valor and its fleet made preparations for the assault on Draconus. The operation would require careful coordination and flawless execution, but the potential rewards were worth the risk. As they approached Draconus, the fleet maintained radio silence, their ships moving like shadows through the starry expanse. The tension on the bridge of the Valor was palpable as they neared their target. All systems are green, Marcus reported from his station. We're ready to begin the attack. Commence the assault, Elias commanded. Let's show them what we're made of. The fleet erupted into action, fighters deploying and streaking toward the Vraxan defenses. Emma monitored the disruptors, ensuring they operated at peak efficiency. Shields down on their main station, Emma reported, her fingers dancing across the controls. We're clear to engage. The human fighters darted through the weakened defenses, targeting key installations and wreaking havoc on the Vraxan positions. Meanwhile, the Valor provided covering fire, its powerful weapons disabling enemy ships attempting to regroup. On the ground, Elias led a team of Marines in a daring assault on the command center. The Vraxan fought fiercely, but the humans advanced with determination, using their superior tactics to overcome the defenders. Inside the command center, Elias and his team navigated the corridors, clearing resistance and planting charges to ensure the facility's destruction. Every step was a reminder of the stakes, the future of humanity resting on their success. Charges are set, Marcus informed Elias over the comm. We need to evacuate now. All teams fall back to the extraction point, Elias ordered, ushering his team toward their shuttle. As they retreated, explosions rocked the command center, signaling the collapse of the Vraxan command structure on Draconus. The victory was decisive, and as the fleet regrouped, Elias knew they had dealt a significant blow to the enemy's ability to wage war. Back aboard the Valor, the crew celebrated their success, aware of the importance of their achievement. Elias addressed them, his voice filled with pride and resolve. We've struck at the heart of their operation, but this is just one battle in a long war. We must remain vigilant and ready for whatever comes next. His words resonated with the crew, their determination stronger than ever. The victory on Draconus was a pivotal moment in the fight against the Vraxan Empire, and as the galaxy watched, humanity's courage and ingenuity shone brightly, inspiring hope for the future. With the victory on Draconus, humanity had dealt a crippling blow to the Vraxan Empire. But Captain Elias Ford knew the enemy would retaliate. The Vraxan would not let such a defeat go unanswered, and intelligence reports confirmed their preparations for a massive counterattack. The crew of the USS Valor braced themselves for what would be the fiercest battle yet. In the strategy room, Elias met with his senior officers, including Lieutenant Marcus Graves, Lieutenant Emma Carter, and Dr. Samuel Adler. A holographic map displayed the solar system, showing the locations of Vraxan forces converging on Earth. The Vraxan are gathering their remaining fleets for an assault on Earth, Marcus reported. They're bringing everything they've got. Emma adjusted the display, highlighting the enemy's fleet. Their ships are heavily armed, but our disruptors can still give us an edge. Dr. Adler analyzed the data. We need to draw them away from Earth, buy time for our defenses to strengthen. Elias nodded, formulating a plan. We'll lure them to the asteroid belt. It's dense enough to give us cover and disrupt their formations. The crew quickly prepared for the confrontation, the atmosphere aboard the Valor a mix of determination and urgency. This battle would determine the fate of Earth and possibly the galaxy. As the fleet moved into position near the asteroid belt, Elias addressed his crew over the ship's comm system. This is it, everyone. We've fought hard to get here, and we're not backing down. Let's show them what humanity is made of. The Vraxan fleet appeared on the sensors, their ships a formidable presence against the backdrop of space. Elias ordered the human fleet to engage, using the asteroids as both shield and weapon. Execute the plan, Elias commanded. Draw them in, and let's break their lines. The human ships weaved through the asteroid field, using the terrain to their advantage. The disruptors fired in coordinated bursts, disrupting the Vraxan shields and allowing human weapons to penetrate. Marcus led the fighter squadrons, executing daring maneuvers that kept the enemy off balance. Stay tight, everyone. Let's keep them guessing. he urged over the comm. Emma monitored the disruptors, ensuring they maintained maximum effectiveness. "Shields are down on their lead ships," she reported. "We've got an opening." Elias seized the opportunity. "Focus fire on their flagship. If we can take it out, the rest will fall apart." As the battle intensified, the human fleet pressed their advantage. Despite their superior numbers, the Vraxans struggled to adapt to the humans' unconventional tactics and the chaos of the asteroid field. On the bridge of the Valor, Elias watched the tide of battle turn in their favor. The Vraxan flagship, heavily damaged and struggling to maintain formation, began to retreat. "They're falling back," Marcus announced, triumph evident in his voice. "We've got them on the run." The human fleet pursued, pressing their advantage and dismantling the Vraxan forces. The enemy ships, now leaderless and disorganized, scattered, signaling the collapse of the Vraxan counterattack. Back on Earth, the victory was met with relief and celebration. Elias and his crew returned to a hero's welcome, their courage and tactics having saved the planet from annihilation. As Elias stood before his crew, he felt a deep sense of pride and gratitude. "We've faced the worst and come out stronger. This isn't just a victory for us, but for all of humanity." The battle had been won, but Elias knew the war was not over. The Vraxan Empire had been dealt a significant blow, but remnants of their forces still posed a threat. With their spirits lifted and their resolve hardened, humanity prepared to continue the fight, determined to secure lasting peace in the galaxy. With the defeat of the Vraxan fleet in the asteroid belt, humanity had scored a decisive victory. The enemy's grip on the galaxy was weakened, and the tides of war had turned in favor of Earth. Yet Captain Elias Ford knew that while the battle had been won, the remnants of the Vraxan Empire still posed a threat that needed to be addressed. Back on Earth, the United Earth Space Command convened a summit with leaders from allied planets to discuss the next steps. The mood was cautiously optimistic, with an air of triumph tempered by the understanding of the challenges ahead. Elias, fresh from the battlefield, joined the discussions with a sense of purpose. General Lang, head of Earth's Defense Forces, opened the meeting. "We've achieved a great victory thanks to the efforts of Captain Ford and his crew, but we must ensure the Vraxan can never threaten us again." Elias stood to address the assembly. "We've disrupted their power, but we need to press our advantage and dismantle what's left of their command structure. A united effort is essential to secure peace." Representatives from the other allied planets nodded in agreement. The war had taught them the value of cooperation, and they were ready to stand together against the remnants of the Vraxan threat. Back aboard the USS Valor, Elias and his crew prepared for what they hoped would be the final campaign. Their mission, to track down and eliminate the last strongholds of the Vraxan Empire. In the strategy room, Lieutenant Marcus Graves, Lieutenant Emma Carter, and Dr. Samuel Adler reviewed the intelligence reports. The holographic display highlighted several Vraxan-controlled systems still operational. "We've identified a few key locations where Vraxan forces remain concentrated," Marcus said, pointing to the map. "If we hit these targets, we can dismantle their infrastructure and end their threat for good." Emma added, "Our disruptors have been upgraded again. We can penetrate even their strongest defenses now." Dr. Adler reviewed the data. "We need to coordinate with our allies to ensure simultaneous strikes across all fronts." Elias nodded, formulating the plan. "We'll divide our forces into task groups, each targeting a different system. Our objective is total disarmament of the Vraxan forces." The plan was bold, but the time for boldness had come. As the Allied fleet set out, there was a sense of determination and camaraderie among the diverse ships and crews. The unity forged in battle had created a powerful coalition ready to restore peace. The campaign unfolded over several weeks, with the Allied forces executing precise and coordinated strikes. In system after system, Vraxan defenses crumbled under the relentless assault. Elias led his task group to the final Vraxan stronghold, a heavily fortified station orbiting the barren world of Krexar. As they approached, the Valor coordinated with Allied ships, executing a synchronized assault. "Engage all disruptors," Elias ordered. "Focus on their command center. We take it out, and the rest will follow." The battle was fierce, with the Vraxan putting up a desperate resistance. Yet the outcome was never in doubt. Human ingenuity and the combined might of their allies overwhelmed the defenders. Marcus led the fighter squadrons with precision, dismantling Vraxan defenses with tactical brilliance. Emma ensured the disruptors remained at peak performance, allowing the fleet to bypass the enemy shields. As the command center fell, the remaining Vraxan forces began to surrender. the war was finally coming to an end. With the last stronghold dismantled, the Allied fleet returned to Earth and other liberated worlds, greeted as heroes. Celebrations erupted as the galaxy marked the end of the Vraxan threat. Back on Earth, Elias and his crew were honored for their courage and leadership. The alliance that had formed in the heat of battle now pledged to maintain peace and cooperation, ensuring that such a threat could never rise again. As Elias stood on the deck of the Valor, looking out at the stars, he reflected on the journey. The war had tested humanity to its core, but they had emerged stronger and more united than ever. "We've shown the galaxy what we're capable of," Elias said to his crew. "Now it's up to us to build a future worthy of that sacrifice." The end of the war marked the beginning of a new era. With the Vraxan Empire defeated, humanity and its allies turned their focus to rebuilding and exploration, determined to create a galaxy where peace and prosperity were the rule, not the exception. Elias knew the challenges were far from over, but with allies by their side and the lessons of the past to guide them, they faced the future with confidence and hope.